Amazing real estate agents picking up your dirty washing. What are and aren't they prepared to do? Stay tuned for some crazy stories.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Morning, Mark.
Hello.
Episode 436. 30 years in the industry. You've probably got some crazy stories that you could tell us. You could probably talk for days about it, actually, Mark. But having your dirty washing picked up by a great real estate agent, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, look, it happens all the time. We're in people's homes. It's a big transaction for people. And it's amazing some of the stuff that a great real estate agent will be prepared to do for you. It's no cost, it's out of love, and it makes life so much easier because often agents have got great contacts. They got brilliant contacts to get the stuff cleaned up. And an example, what we were just laughing about before, is out of the couple of examples I'm going to give you today. One was, the 10-ton excavators. Those excavators. I was contacted by Commonwealth Bank, and they said I had a property in Clontarf on the beach, and they said, look, we're a mortgagee in possession, we've taken over, and we need, with the properties in bad disrepair, we need you to sell it, we may need you to get some stuff organised there as well. So when I turned up to the property, there was a 10-ton excavator, rusted, because I was on the beach, rusted out, and I'm like, what are we doing with this? And they're like, well, we've got to get rid of it. And I'm looking up the cliff where it's got to go, which is like 6 stories high, and I'm looking down at this excavator. So I'm getting quotes for choppers to come and lift it out. I'm getting quotes for like a chopper crane. Cranes, we couldn't crane it out because there was too many power lines. And then we ended up oxy cutting. So with a MIG welder, or what do they call those, oxy cutters, we end up slicing it up in 200 kilo pieces, 100 kilo pieces, and then pulling it out bit by bit. And some of the crazy stuff we got to do happens out there in real estate. But guess what? It's for free. And if you don't ask, you don't get.
But that's it. And every situation, every single property you deal with or work on, different vendors, different expectations, different circumstances. So anything under the sun could come up, right?
Anything under the sun. And people often it inhibits the whole process if people are sort of, that old saying, if you stay shy, stay dry. Often it's just a matter of going to say good morning to Luke Moroney, and not shared on Novak Properties, says Luke Moroney. Thanks, legend, for telling us on there. But look, mate, it's so important just to ask, because we're one of the last industries where it's for free. That anything in addition, any work that's done, normally a lot of stuff's gone user pay. So for instance, if you're a lawyer, if you take that extra 100, extra 20 phone calls, you charge per phone call. If you're a carpenter and you need more building works done on the reno, you charge for the extra building works. A real estate agent is different, which is great for consumers, because if the salesperson is doing more work, less work, more work, the fee's the same. And if the property manager is doing more work if it's a particularly bad tenant or a particularly good tenant, your cost is the same. It's a nice average. So I think as a consumer of real estate services, don't be shy in asking for more, because it's not going to cost you more. But if you've got a gun-ho agent, they're just going to go for it and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's all sorts of things. I've had countless different stories off you, Mark, over the last couple of years, and they're always a little bit different and outside the square. But people, if you don't ask, you don't get. It's the bottom line throughout life. And you're paying for the service. We're happy to do it, and I think that will also give you a better indication of who you're dealing with. If they're prepared to go that extra mile, whether it's a little request or whether it's a large request, you're also getting to know who you're getting into bed with a little bit better. We'd probably find out very quickly if you ask them a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a good call, because often you don't have to sign on the dotted line. So if you have not appointed the agent and they're doing all this work for you, they're probably going to expect even more than they're going to get the business. But, in the process of selling, sometimes there's a good amount of headspace that you've got wasted into preparation of the house. Some of the other one, like even just, if you've got a tenant if you've got a tenant and we're doing open houses, we are always cleaning up. I reckon probably half of our tenants, we're going around turning lights on, opening windows, flushing toilets, cleaning up. You can't be precious, and that's going to add value for owners. Good morning, Sean. How are you, bud? And another, just some of the crazy stuff over the years. I remember once we had an auction in Beach Street, Curl, where the tenant passed away, and again, it's one of those things that you just got to roll with the punches. Good agent. We had the auction on site. Good agent bad agent would just can it all and foil that. We moved it to the office rather than having it on site. The irony of the whole thing is the guy who bought it was an ambulance officer, didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like he was like, that happens in life, let's go on with it. And he paid a great price. So you guys, you got to make sure. Thick skin, absolutely. Rolling with the punches, super, super important, because through that campaign, and again, it's not costing clients more money, but through that campaign, you sometimes acting like a psychologist, for owners, a cleaner for owners. In property management, people should also know that a kitchen or a bathroom, a complete reno of a unit, can be managed by us, and we have the perfect people for it. A good agent doesn't charge a cent. You've got to watch this, guys, because some agencies now are saying they will do it for a lower percentage as a management fee. And what they do on any outgoing cost, anything they pay on your behalf, they charge you a clip.
Yeah.
So they'll say, we'll pay your council, water, strata, but they'll charge 5% on paying that for you. So ingoing rent, you'll pay management fees on. Outgoing rent with us, you'll pay nothing. And then another thing is, so you got to watch out for that when you sign on the dotted line. But when we're doing repairs and maintenance, like a $20,000 kitchen, again, a great agent will just get that shit done for you, won't be charging.
Yeah. A sneaky agent's going to make sure that that's in the fine print every single time to get every cent out of you, unfortunately.
Look, it's sort of that user pay is becoming more and more. It may be done in a sneaky way. It may just be done in, that's the way people are starting to do stuff these days. But you've got to keep an eye out, because that whole user pay, it's like the mobile phone companies. They used to have all these hooks that were stuck in the agreement. You're right. You got to keep an eye out for the hooks. So project consultation was one thing that I mentioned. Another one as well. This is an experienced agent. This is someone that's really good at what they're doing. Sometimes to see the value in your property, it's not just throwing it on realestate.com and crossing your fingers and doing an open house. Sometimes you've got to create that value with your marketing. Sometimes you've got to create that value with painting and doing works. A good agent will identify that and get shit done. An example, Lewis Street, that we've got for sale now.
Yeah.
Tell us about that one.
I've actually not been to Lewis Street, Mark. I know the I know about it well, but I haven't actually been in there. You can probably tell us a bit more.
Okay, so 2,000 meters squared.
Yeah.
Have it for sale. I turn around to the owner and say, look, owner says, I really, really want this money. I said, you're really, really not going to get that money. He said, but I really, really want the money. I said, if you really, really want the money, you've got to subdivide the block of land. He said, I really, really don't want to subdivide the block of land. I said, you really, really got to subdivide the block of land. So what we did was I said, I've got the perfect person to do it. I put him in contact with a ninja, 8-week eight or 12 weeks later, $16,000 down the track because of surveyors and this and that. Hey,
Yeah.
presto, 3 blocks of land.
It's DA approved.
Yeah. Guess what else happened? Market moved. But
Yeah.
my point of the
Wow.
my point of the example is, you may well find half of the agents out there will not have those contacts or have the ability or just even want to roll up their sleeve to get shit done, to create value. I reckon we've put $500,000 to $1 million on the table for that owner because we were, and that was all done. That because your agents have got the Midas touch because they're doing renovations all the time, they're doing kitchens all the time, they're doing painting all the time, we're doing subdivision works, so they got you. It's not like you're going to the yellow pages and saying I want a subdivision. You're using someone who's high volume with those types of works, and they're organizing it for free. So it's building in value. Thanks, Luke. It's building in value, and you got to get your hands dirty, like Sean says.
Yeah, but it's just it's offering advice that's beneficial to the vendor, not to yourself at the end of the day. And if that's what your core focus is throughout your career, you're going to make a lot of people happy. As you said a moment ago, that example, you're going to hopefully make people some money with the decision making moves as well. But you end up getting the business in the end as a good agent anyway, or a great agent. So it really doesn't matter. It's a marathon, not a sprint at the end of the day. And I think everyone's thinking of it as a sprint and get the listing, sell it as quick as I can, move on to the next one. But there are ones like that where, yeah, there's a lot of value that you can input to these people who may not have the Scooby-Doo otherwise, literally.
People are gun shy, they just don't want to ask. But before we sign out, a golden example that I want to discuss with people is architectural plans. Okay, now we deal with objections from prospective purchasers every single day. We deal with objections from people every single day. They are telling us why the unit is shit, and they are telling us why the house is shit, what they don't like. We are the perfect person to advise people on what they should do. So here's my point. When you're doing your home reno, when you got the architectural plans, before you put shit into council, talk to your local real estate agent out there.
Yeah.
It's free. It's absolutely free. How many times I've done consultative work to developers when they're building units, and they're doing, or owners when they're building a house, and we make just the slightest modification that makes 50 grand, whatever, 100 grand. I remember there was a unit block in Narrabeen. We added 1.5 million to the entire project by moving a wall in each unit.
Yeah, and that's huge. It goes without saying, but these little pieces of advice, the real estate agent generally, if they know what they're talking about, they know what the consumer wants, they know what's adding value. And yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I was Wall Street, if I'm not mistaken, Mark.
Yeah.
One Walsh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And our point of today is stay shy, stay dry, don't stay shy, don't stay dry. Just ask your real estate agent to get that work done for you, and it is bloody free. It is absolutely free.
Perfect,
That's
Mark.
it.
I think we're good to go. Thanks, Luke and Sean and everyone else. We'll see you next time.
See you, legend. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers, bye.
Bye.